Good morning, friends. We have made it to Friday. Okay, we have made it to Friday. So it's very exciting. So we're going to continue with 14.2 today. Remember that your 14.1 quizzes are due to my email by noon on Friday. So right now it's 9:30. So if you watch this, make sure it's in my inbox by noon. Second thing is I'm assigning your first online quiz in my math lab. So make sure that you are getting signed up for that. If it is telling you that you have a 2-week temporary access to it, then you have not used the code that I gave you in the Blackboard announcements. So a couple of you have that on there. So make sure that when you sign in, you use the code, the access code that I gave you on Blackboard in the announcements. So please do that. And again, this quiz is going to be due tomorrow at midnight. So you guys have got to get registered into my math lab, and right now there's only 4 of you that have done that. So make sure that you are taking responsibility and getting that done, because we do not want zeros in the grade book. So, okay, so today what we want to do is we want to do area of polygons and circles. So we've done perimeter. Perimeter is the distance around. And then we looked at some triangles, and then we did conversions. So we will see a lot of that again today. So today we want to look at area. Area is measured in square units. So any of your labeling, which again, a labeling is vital. So any of your labeling should be meters squared, inches squared, centimeters squared, because you are doing like meters times meters. And so meters times meters would be meters squared, okay? So when we look at area, one of the ways that you can teach this is with dot paper, or you can also do this with geoboards. And geoboards are basically, I've seen them in plastic. I've actually seen homemade ones with just a board and some nails, but they are blocked off and they are pegboards basically. And so you can take rubber bands and you can make shapes and find the area by counting the squares. So 1 by 1 squares. So below, you can see the 1 by 1 area of 1 square unit. And then this one is 9 square units because it's made up of 9 1 by 1 squares. Now the triangle below, so I usually count it off like this. So I do my whole squares first. So 1, 2, 3. And then I look to see, okay, well, this is half a square and half a square, so 2 halves make a whole, so that counts as 1, so that's why the 4 is in both of those. And then I have a half. So that's why here the area is 4.5 square units is how that's done. So beginning with it, anytime you're teaching area, that's the best way to start. So going through the formulas, rectangle, length times width, area of a parallelogram is base times height. A triangle, so you have base times height over 2, or we're used to seeing it as 1/2 base times height. Okay, perfectly fine. If you have a right triangle, your height is the up and down. Okay, the up and down, and then you have your base. So if you have a right triangle, that is considered your height. Also with triangles, sometimes if they are obtuse triangles, your height will be outside of the triangle listed as the altitude. And I have an example of that for you. Area of a trapezoid. So I wanted to create this for you. So when you're finding area, you can split it up into pieces. So I've split this trapezoid into 3 pieces, and I've labeled the height is the same. I have base 1 and base 1. I have this little piece as X, this little piece as Y, and all of this down here is base 2. Okay, so if I add up the pieces, the left triangle, the rectangle, and then the right triangle, and do the area of those 3 pieces, I can then factor out 1/2 height. And when I factor that out, I'm left with X plus 2B plus Y. If I break apart my B's, so B and B, so I just labeled them B1 and B1. If I break apart my B's, because this base right over here, I can say base 2 is equal to x plus b1 plus y, I can substitute in for b2 here. And so I get my final area of a trapezoid as 1/2 height times base 1 or base 2 plus base 1. Okay, so my area of a trapezoid is, that's where that's coming from. Okay, kind of finding that. Okay, when we look at the area of a regular polygon, so if we just look at this first one, okay, looking at the square, so my sides, I have my side, and then I have this A, and the A is a new term, and on the right you can see A is called the apothem, and it's the height of a particular triangle. Okay, so, and then P is going to stand for perimeter here as we work with this. So if we look at our square, we can cut the square into 4 triangles. So if we do the area, we can say 4 times the area of one triangle. So one triangle would be 1/2 times A, which is our height, times S. If I rearrange that 4, okay, because it's all multiplication, if I rearrange that 4, I get 1/2 A times 4S. And if I think about 4S, because it's regular, regular means all sides are the same length. Because it's 4S, that's equivalent to my perimeter. So I can say that it's 1/2 A times P. 1/2 A, the height of the triangle, times the perimeter of the outside. So the other 2 that are listed here are basically, again, just showing, here I have a pentagon, so it has 5 sides. So I can do 5 times 1/2 A times S. So 5 sides means 5 triangles. Rearrange, and I still get the same idea, 1/2 A times P. Okay. Then I have a hexagon. So 6 sides, 1/2 A times S. Rearrange, and I still get 1/2 A times P. So the area of a regular is the important piece here. Regular means all sides are the same. A regular polygon is 1/2 times A, which is the height of one of the triangles, times P, which is the perimeter around the edge. So that's for any regular polygon. Okay, so area of a circle. So area of a circle is pi r squared. So r, again, is the radius of our circle. In this example, we're given the diameter. So diameter, remember, is 2r. So if I divide 18 by 2, I can get my radius is 9. Substitute in. Now, some of your homework and maybe on your quizzes are going to want you to leave it as 81 pi. Okay? Or if you're getting an approximation, then you're getting the 25.796 feet squared. Most likely they'll want you to leave it as the 81 pi. So some examples. Finding area. This is a rectangle, so length times width. Making sure to label it with your units squared. Units squared. Units are vital. You will miss things on the quiz if you do not put units, so make sure you put units. Okay, on this problem, if you notice, your units are not in the same measurement. So I have meters here, I have centimeters here. So make sure as you're doing area and as you're doing anything, perimeter, area, volume later on, sorry, there we go. Make sure you're all in the same units. So I converted meters to centimeters. So 2 places to the right. And then base times height for the polygon. Not for the polygon, for the parallelogram. Okay, here's a triangle where the height is on the outside, and again, it's called the altitude. So 1/2 base times height. Okay, for this right triangle, you don't know the height of it, so you need to find the other side. Because it's a right triangle, you can use the Pythagorean theorem to find the height, and your A should be 3. So your height is 3, your base is 4. Remember, the side opposite your right angle is always your hypotenuse. Okay, here's a trapezoid. So again, we don't know the height of the trapezoid, but we do know our trigonometry from last chapter. So we want to set it up as tangent of 45 is equal to opposite over adjacent. So height over 3. Multiply both sides by 3, and you get your height to be 3. and then you can substitute in. So utilizing some things from last chapter. Now, when we get to conversions, when you're converting units for area, because they're squared, okay, because they're squared, and we'll see this again with volume because it's cubed. When it's squared, that means that you have to eliminate meters squared. So meters times meters. Okay, meters times meters. So that means if you'll notice, I have two of these written down. Meters to centimeters, so there's 100 centimeters in a meter. But to get meters squared, to cancel out, and to get centimeters squared as our solution, we have to write it down twice. Okay, write it down twice. If you are using King Henry died by drinking chocolate milk, then that means that you have to double your frog hops. Okay, so in this case, to go to meters to centimeters, you frog hop 2 to the right. That means now you'll frog hop 4 to the right. Okay, so going from 1, 4 to the right, that gets that 10,000 centimeters squared. So if you're using your King Henry, you have to just double it. Okay, the next one from millimeters to centimeters. So again, writing it down twice. And again, from miles to feet. You can't use your frog hops on here because this is not in the metrics. So remember, the metrics, or the frog hops or King Henry only works for the metrics. Okay, so here's an example. So Joe uses stick-on square carpet tiles to cover his 3 meter by 4 meter bathroom. If each tile is 10 centimeters on a side, how many tiles does it need? So I drew a picture. So he's 3 meters by 4 meters, and then one carpet is 10 by 10. So first of all, you want to get everything into the same measurement. And so because you're wanting to know how many tiles are in centimeters, so you want to take everything to centimeters. So 3 meters is equivalent to 300 centimeters. 4 meters is equivalent to 400 centimeters. So frog hop twice to the right. So to find your total area of the bathroom, so you have your 300 times 400, so it's 120,000 centimeters squared. Now, we know that one tile is 10 by 10, so one tile is 100 centimeters squared. So if we want to find how many tiles, that means we want to take our total area divided by the area of one tile, and that means we need 1,200 tiles. Right, again, making sure it's all in the same measurement, okay, the same unit, and making sure to label. Okay, that covers area. Assignment you can work on, but also 14.2 quiz on MyMathLab due Saturday, March the 28th by midnight. And I will be posting another video that will be a tutorial on I misspelled video right here. Can't help it right now. Look for a tutorial video in today's assignment. So our daily assignment date. So I'll post that. Okay. We've made it through a week, ladies, and we will be successful in this. So again, making sure you're taking responsibility for your own education at this point. I can't make you do it. So let me know if you do have questions.